welcome to CosmoMuse and another Friday Insight with your yes, no, maybe questions that we are going to look into. So before we look at the 4 different piles here, just a quick housekeeping per usual. Just a note that when you phrase the question that you bring, or the questions if you're doing more than one, make sure to phrase it so that like in a positive manner, just for ease of interpretation, both on my end and your end, so that if you were to get a yes from this reading, that would be positive, that would feel positive to you. Okay, that being said, let's look at our 4 piles. We have pile 1, just this beautiful Druzy quartz. Pile 2, we have a pretty piece of pyrite here. Pile 3, we've got sort of an aquamarine. I don't know if it's aquamarine or just sort of an aqua greenish calcite. Maybe aquamarine is calcite. I don't know. Anyway, a beautiful aquamarine colored stone, whether it's just aquamarine or aqua calcite. Okay, and then we have a really soft kind of pink Lemurian quartz for pile 4. So again, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. If you already know which pile is yours, you can jump ahead into the timestamps to your reading. But for those of you that like the breath work I do to help in your pile picking process, we'll jump into that now. So place your feet firmly on the ground. Feel that stability underfoot. Take a deep breath into that, expanding your body and grounding it down, really embodying yourself. And now you can exhale that. And take another deep breath in, and this time suck the air up, up, up into the space between your brows. Suck in a little bit more to add pressure. Hold, hold. Now out loud exhale, opening up that crown chakra, putting pressure on your 3rd eye to open your inner knowing, and that first breath sort of grounded us into our body and intuition. Okay, now gaze over these 4 piles and ask which one has your aligned message, and I will see you in your readings. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your yes, no, maybe Friday Insight reading. You guys picked this beautiful Druzy quartz crystal. And before we jump into the cards, just an intuitive hit I got from focusing in on your pile through your stone and how the cards felt as I was picking them was sort of like, initially it was just sort of this ease and lightness coming in. And that feeling good, which means that maybe you've been in a little bit of a hibernation or something. And then as I was sort of looking at the screen that I use to make sure I'm sort of in your screen, it's just like the overview through looking at that, I just felt this deep sense of sort of flow in the patterns coming through. So it was just overall like life is flowing, there's a lightening up coming in. So no matter if you get a yes, maybe no here, I think that's something positive coming through no matter what the cards end up saying about your particular question. This feels like a general thing, maybe not necessarily about your question, but something's lightening up and some sort of flow is coming in. Okay, we're going to look at your tarot cards on this top row to tease out that yes, no, maybe. Hija of Earth, 4 of Earth. Ooh, and the High Priestess. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting how, if I can pick up the card, there we go. These two cards is like the same thing is kind of happening. One is showing the action of it, and one is just sort of showing an image of something in progress, of like weaving, building, creating, like molding the material world. So there's something about, and that's a very spring type of quality. So I do feel generally like there's some kind of rise of energy, some motivation coming through here. It feels very positive, and I'm not sure why I'm feeling held back from giving an outright yes. Even though everything here feels very positive, and it might be because of the presence of the High Priestess, because this is a card of really trusting our intuition. And so maybe that's where there's something you're needing to trust about yourself and your question that, like, I can't give you a direct answer. So I'm going to give you a maybe. And I'm going to say that everything looks really positive, though, around you. But there's something intuitively that it's up to you to, like, trust your guidance, to trust your intuition and your instincts and your inner knowing. And it's like, and I feel like there's a collection here for, like, creating a spell or just certain, like, ingredients needed for something. And so one clue here is sort of like, do you have all of the ingredients? If you were to make an ingredient list here to kind of conjure your yes through your actions and through trusting yourself, what would that ingredient list look like? Like maybe there's some steps you need to take, or just a dropping into a certain self-love or self-confidence or assertiveness, something. But maybe, write down what are some ingredients or some steps or some focus that you could do on your end, and in trusting your inner knowing and inner guidance to lead you towards a yes here. Yeah, it's like, what can you do? And this is like action. There's something you're needing to do here. So feel into some rising heat of this time of year, unless you're coming to this at, from a different time or from the Southern Hemisphere. But I feel like if you're coming to this, it doesn't matter what time of year you come here. There's like, tap into some growing kind of energy and motivation within you to take action, to give shape and form to something, and to kind of really trust yourself in the steps you need to take. So yeah, it's a maybe, but it's like all signs feel very positive. Like the only thing that would get in your way is you not taking action here, or you not trusting yourself. But give some sort of form and shape to something to call in your yes. Create a container for your yes to land in. That's what I'm feeling called to say. Create a container for your yes to land in, even if that's just a metaphor, like literally getting a basket and saying, writing down what you're trying to manifest and putting it in the basket as like a metaphorical action. If it's not something that, for some of you that might make sense of like, okay, yeah, there are some action steps I could take. And for some of you that might not make sense for what your question is, but you could like literally get a basket, write down what your yes would be and put it in the basket. Like, you're needing to kind of bring focus to where this is supposed to land, where your yes is supposed to land, and trust your intuition in that. Just get witchy and trust what your intuition tells you to do. Okay, let's look at your astrology. So symbiosis, first house arrival, And Saturn structure, yeah, it's like creating. You need to create some kind of structure for your yes to build upon or land in. And this is something I'm feeling like is very fresh, or if you do get your yes, it will create some kind of fresh new, or this is actually even more than that to me, pointing toward that, what I was feeling like, that energy rising, that motivation rising, like really tap into that. What do your instincts, even your impulses, tell you to do? There's something about that as well, like really tap into that motivation to do something. And symbiosis is really beautiful. It's just saying that like that flow is there. If you're to take action or to metaphorically kind of put out a container for your yes, it's like the flow is there. There's support, there's flow, there's allies around you. Things are in flow. You just need to kind of tap into that flow. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. We've got Muladhara, so foundations, new start in foundations maybe, or there's something about rising energy, again, that you're really needing to tap into. Motivation, rising energy, taking action. Yeah, and again, chop wood. I do think for most of you coming here, there are some physical actions you can take here, some processes to kind of tap into a rising energy, give some shape to something, or just take some action, or create a rhythm, put some structure in place. Think positively, trust your intuition. Okay, let's see what your tea leaves say. Vulture, depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. And I think this is all in your head. I see no sign here. I've actually seen the opposite, that things and people are actually on your side. And I think you're just like coming out of a hibernation, and it's just like tap into positivity, tap into the flow, tap into energy rising. And as you do that, certain anxiety or, you know, that hibernation depression, it will just dissipate. It will just lift off of you. And I did get that sense of something's lifting, it's lightening. So I think you may be here right now in this depression, anxiety. And it is said that the best way to rid yourself of anxiety is to take action. Or of doubt. Doubt and anxiety sometimes can be sort of the same thing as like to do something, to take some action. And I'm seeing that all over this, like take action in something. Ooh, and then success, yeah. That's beautiful. All of the flow of energy, what's coming in, where things can go if you just trust yourself and act on impulses, intuition, and instinct. If you can do that, you will get your yes, but it's sort of up to you. That's why it's a maybe at this point. All the things are around you that you need to get your yes. You just have to trust yourself and tap into what you know you need to do. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Kind and thoughtful comments are always welcome, and you know, I'm always grateful for those as well. And definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your Friday Insight Yes, No, Maybe reading. You guys picked this beautiful pyrite stone, and just an intuitive hit that kind of came through from this as I was tuning into you guys, drawing your cards, focusing on your stone, was the first word that came to me was wealth, and I don't necessarily think it has to do with finances, but like it's like a gratitude rising in you, and things starting to kind of design around you more effortlessly. like this ability to just like let go and trust kind of the universal flow in your life that's kind of just creating just because it does create. Yeah, so it doesn't really have to do with the yes, no, maybe. It feels like some general energy around you. Like maybe that's some advice, like you need to kind of let go a little and just like let life happen because it will. Yeah, well, let's look at your tarot and see what comes up about this. So this top row, the tarot, we're going to use to kind of tease out your yes, no, maybe. We've got 3 of air with echinacea. The magician with sunflower. And 5, I thought that said fire of air. 5 of air, white sage. All plants. I mean, this deck is filled with plants, but there sometimes are other things. We got sort of an herbal, echinacea is definitely a flower used in kind of an herbal way. And then we've got sage, which is an herb, and then we've got the sunflower, which is, you can get the sunflower seeds, so it can be a food. So they're all like practical, useful plant life coming through here. And I just can't help but continuously be drawn to this sunflower in the center here as the magician of like the sun is rising. Life is flowing. Yeah, again, you have that figure 8 in here. And then we've got all these terms, and I don't know if any of them would mean anything to any of you, but I'll just call them out. We've got a watering can, we've got a moon, a basket, and a Morton pestle, that thing that's used to kind of crush up herbs and stuff, or you could crush up anything you want to kind of instead of using, it's like what people used to use before we had food processors. But I still sometimes like to just use it. It kind of feels good to do it by hand. It's like something, it's like you have the pieces you need to create, but you need to like let go into the flow of something here. But there is some healing I am feeling that's needed. I'm trying to look more at the images and my association with these different herbs and flowers than the typical tarot associations. But I can't help, I noticed this first before I was really like tuning into what the tarot association was, that there's something that was like needing healing because of all these herbal things. Like echinacea often is used for colds, and sage for sort of clearing and purification. So I do feel like there's something you're needing to kind of clear out of you, some congestion, some dense energies that are needing to kind of be worked on and dissolved. And it's like you have all of the ingredients and all of the knowledge and all of the motivation within you. This is pile 1 had a very similar, it feels different to me. This feels a little heavier, but similar kind of vibe happening here, where it's like it's up to you. Like you have to take some action. And you need to take care of your well-being, whether that's physical, mental, both, spiritual, whatever it is. There's something you're needing to like really give some wellness effort toward, and you at least have the know-how and the ingredients or processes needed to do this. It's like you know what to do here. So it's a maybe. I feel like if this is an answer you're looking for that's you don't have time to work on, or it's just a straight up yes or no, it's a no here because of like there's something that's needing healing. But if you have time to work on this, it's like there's a maybe, but you need to take accountability for your actions and for your motivations and for what you're trying to manifest and call in. But you can do it. You have the knowledge, the know-how, the steps, the ingredients, whatever it is you need to create your yes. You have them, but you have to do that. You have to take that upon yourself to do it, to get your yes. Yeah, but if this is a straight up yes, no, where there's not something you can like work on here, then it is a no. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. But let's look at the astrology and oracle to see what else we can add here. Yeah, 12th house, something it feels around your well-being, again, whether that's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. There's something that's it's like you're walking through the shadows, you're doing healing work right now. It's just like let go into that, surrender into that. Yeah, because there is a flow to be found there. Excuse me, oh my goodness. I have a little bit of seasonal allergies, so I'm not going to read too much into that, but that is somewhat of a confirmation to me of like, take care of your well-being. There's some things you're processing, there's some things you're releasing. For a lot of you, just like give this time, let life, surrender into just the flow of what needs to happen. Vesta Hearth, tap into your inner light. And second house, resources. So for some of you, this may be a question around work or career or finances. Yeah, it's like there's something, I see an ending and an incubation. So not quite a beginning, but like something's incubating as you're letting go. It's like let go of whatever is trying to dissolve. Release it, purify your life, allow things to go. It will really help things to lighten up, and it will help things to flow, and it will feed that inner fire in you that is incubating something new. It might be the ending of one kind of way of making an income, and like a new way is really close on the horizon, or there's just something financial here or material or physical here about your question, resource related. This card specifically says resources, so however that might hit for some of you. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. We've got Spectrum and Loyal Heart. And I can't help but notice with Spectrum and then this 12th house introspection, how close those words sound, and then there's this spectrum of colors, and it's sort of like, I just think overall, in your whole spectrum of self and well-being, you're just like really needing to get, like, spend some time healing, spend some time getting in touch with your whole spectrum of self, every single one of your chakras, every layer of your personality. There's like something really beautiful in what is maybe kind of dissolving here, like it's directly feeding your heart in this new thing that you're incubating. Incubating something that you can be much more loyal to and much more belonging to, in alignment with or something. As you let go of what needs to be let go of, it's like your well-being comes into a healthier vibrancy in its spectrum, and you find new kind of heart longings and things your heart is calling you to. When you let go of these things that are, just whether it's like you've outgrown or, that's where my mind stops for something, like something you've outgrown, and as you let it go, it's feeding an inner fire. It's helping you get in touch with your heart and what your heart wants for you. Okay, and then Carrot, opportunity or windfall, yeah. And then Bow, you are highly thought of. I just think if you kind of let go into the flow of things, really take care of yourself, especially your heart, and take some kind of action. It's like one way of feeling. This is giving me a little bit more of a picture, you know, and that ties back into that thing I was feeling with your stone, like wealth coming. And I wasn't sure if that was wealth in love or wealth in money, but we do have resources here. And so now what I'm, you know, things are morphing a little, so hold on one second. I think it's like one way of feeling and manifesting in the material realm is being let go of, because you're finding in your inner core and through your heart like a much better way of thinking about and holding energy around. This feels like an energetic thing around resources and material world, like a much better, more vibrant way of understanding how to manifest in the material. So it's like you're healing from an old way of connecting to, thinking about, holding the energy of manifesting in a material way, and you're really coming into a much better understanding of how to do this more beautifully for you. Yeah, and it's ending up with like kind of like a new start, a new confidence in how you're able to draw the material world into you. And I think this is interesting coming through. You are highly thought of. I think maybe you've had some negative association with like wealth and money and not thought highly of that and people with it. And it's like something's filling out more in your spectrum of understanding, and you're able to see that side of life, that area of life in a much more positive light. You're able to think more highly of the material realm and respect for it, hence a drawing in of it. And the way that you would feel good about drawing it in is like aligning for you. Yeah, so again, if this is something that you have time with and you can work toward, this is like, it feels like a new blossoming, like letting go of an old way and a new blossoming in the material realm by being connected to heart, self-confidence, better positivity around it, a much broader spectrum of understanding. But again, if this is an answer you're needing a yes, no, maybe to right now, I feel like you're living currently in this time of healing and letting go. So like at this moment it's a no, and if that's just you're needing the yes no right now, it's a no. But those with time, or where you can work on things, or where this has if your question has some sort of trajectory with it or some timing that, you know, gives you a couple weeks, a couple months, this really can kind of evolve and be a whole ending and beginning, and bring in a whole new connection to how you think about yourself in relation to the material realm, how you think about the material realm, and how that then changes how you manifest here in a much bigger windfall kind of opportunity coming in. Okay, I hope that made sense. I just feel like there's an evolution and some like dropping into flow, and some things that have to morph here to get the yes. And so that's why, you know, it's really a positive reading, but coming into it where I feel like you are right now. It's just like there is evolution needed here. You're living right now in the ending of and the healing of an old way. Yeah, so hopefully for the majority of you, this is a yes, no, that you have room to kind of give some space here and work on something. Yeah. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. I'm always very grateful for kind and thoughtful little comments, and definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your Friday Insight, yes, no, maybe questions and reading. You guys picked this beautiful sort of aquamarine stone and an intuitive hit. They're so, hopefully I can decipher everything that's already kind of come through just based on sort of the energies and in shuffling your cards and focusing on your stone and like, yeah, there was a lot. Anyway, initially looking at your stone as I was drawing cards, I just felt like I started to notice the banding in this stone as having some similarity to the banding on my kind of accoutrements here, and how the turquoise is a little bit off color from the greens in these, but it's like a deeper, I just got the sense that there's like something deep. It gave me the sense that there's something deep here, deep and layered. And then like all of a sudden I really noticed the flame, which I hadn't even paid attention to yet in this reading. It was like something, yeah, there's a fire under something, or you're connected to your inner fire, and there's something deep and potent. And then I kept wanting to flip your cards over upright, and I kept having to catch myself. And so that had sort of like a whole different message of like something's immediate here, like it's already happened or something. And then when these last tea leaves cards came out, I picked up the pile to shuffle, and they just shot out without shuffling from like the middle of the deck. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, I just felt like something's quick here, something's maybe even already happened, or like expect some traction today on what you're asking about kind of thing, like it's like right on the cusp. Okay, but let's look at this top row, your tarot cards, to tease out that actual yes, no, maybe. The moon. So maybe there's something around this question to you that is, you know, you've been searching more inwardly, or that's been a little bit cloudy, a little difficult to really make out. And I would say with something coming through today, because this was the first card I drew and like the initial one that I really wanted to flip over upright, is like some revelation. Expect some revelation. Oh, exactly. I love how this image of the moonflower, the datura, really connects to that too, of like revelation and it coming immediately, because this shows the stage from like bud to opening. And so it's like coming from like a seed of something and really having to seek within and unfurl something and untangle something, to really coming into that revelation and understanding that something's been reflected to you, or there's been an insight that's hit, and it's like revelation, something from your unconscious becoming much more conscious that you've been trying to find clarity in, and it's happening very immediately here. Ace of water, very you know, and I said deep. There's, yeah, something emotional about this question, a new understanding, a new connection to your heart, a new connection to another. Ooh, and then Ace of Earth. This is mega, like new start. Something's like initiating today. This is a major yes. Something's happening like today around this question. And on the side of the yes, for sure. We have a butterfly in here, so something kind of blossoming, transforming. It's maybe hard to see for you guys, but this little thing here. Some, you know, movement and flow, and then that blossoming, full blossom of a flower bringing revelation. So like understanding, new flow, new possibility, new opportunity. Like this is a yes, especially if it's around something new, or there might just be like new information that comes up today for you with this question. But it's like it's here is all I want to say, and it's yes. And then we've got the 5th house, passion. This is creativity, leadership. I'm going to lean towards creativity though, just because of the image on the card, expression, putting yourself out there, being daring. Yeah, Taurus, cultivate. Yeah, giving form to things, feeling confident, feeling connected to your senses and what brings you pleasure here. And Leo, shine. Yeah, this is like mega speak up, take up your space, take command. This feels, you know, Leo and 5th house have a strong connotation. That 5th house is Leo's natural house. And this gives me leadership vibes, and this gives me creativity vibes in the Leo realm. So really tapping into both aspects of Leo, passion, leadership, shining, taking up space, speaking up, being courageous about sharing what's in your heart, about expressing who you are. Yeah, whatever, just shine, like confidence in willingness to shine, in willingness to stand in the spotlight. And yeah, just like real connection to what you find beautiful, to your voice, your wants, your desires. It's all very fixed energy too, like just strong confidence coming through here. Self-love, self-confidence. Yeah, it's like, and it's, I feel like you're blossoming into like this is something you've worked on maybe over time, and it's like now you're just in your strength here. And the more you can just like drop into that and own it and love it and live it, it's like it's bringing all sorts of new starts and exciting things. And yeah, really positive reading here. Okay, let's look at your lingam. This is like the male assertive energy. Sorry. I hope it's just shapes, so I hope that's how YouTube reads it. Just, but something is starting with gusto, like immediately, like it's ready to shoot. Sorry. Shoot your shot today. It's like ready. Mending. I don't know. I kind of want to turn over these tea leaves to get insight into what mending might mean for you. Well, actually, I think that in relation to this moon card and revelation and having maybe done a lot of inner work, I think that inner work, a lot of it has been about mending your confidence, mending your self-love, mending the way you allow yourself and your life to be filled with pleasure and excitement and beauty. There's like been something kind of blocking that, I feel like, and it's like you've mended it. You're newly coming into a repaired sense of confidence and pleasure and fun and yeah, just light too. Okay, we've got club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. And everything I've seen here is like you have that strength, you have voice right now, you have heart right now, and trust your heart and trust your voice to say no or to strategically maneuver out of whatever that is. Like you have the strength to do that. You are repaired in ways that others may have previously taken advantage of you or used you. You're now like, nope, seeing right through that. No, thank you. I'm going to stick with what I want to do for me. Here is what I'm feeling. And then we've got Arrow. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Yeah. This is like things are clicking in, and this is going to be that sign. This is going to be the thing that makes you recognize like, oh, wow, I used to fall for this all the time. I used to be used and manipulated so easily. And look how easily I dealt with this thing that came in that I knew was that. Like I identified it right away and I was just like, X, nope. That used to get me immediately. I used to have no defenses to this, and now I'm so strong. And it's just this moment of revelation of like how strong you've become because you've spent so much time mending something here. Yeah, and then this arrow is just confirming the yes that we've already talked about. The yes, and especially if this is asking about if you're going in the right way with something or thinking about the right thing, or it doesn't have to be that, but I think it's especially poignant for those of you that have asked if like something's right for you. It's like, yeah, you're on the right path. I would be fascinated because this feels so immediate in the comments if you get this pile. After today or like tomorrow from when you read this, come back and comment if something like immediate happened for you around this question. That'd be fascinating to know. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. I'm always very grateful for kind and thoughtful little comments, and definitely subscribe if you are not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your Friday Insight for your yes, no, maybe questions. You guys picked this really pretty soft pink Lemurian quartz. And partially intuitive hit that came through, but also circumstances that happened as I was about to start your reading, as I suddenly have like a time constraint and I sort of had the choice of like, do I put this down and come back to it later, or do I try and do this as a quick read? And I just felt that strong, like, no, keep the continuity, don't put this down, just do it. So there's something that's having to be done quickly here. You may be feeling rushed around this question. Yeah, so I don't know how it doesn't really say much about whether this is a yes, no, maybe. There's just like something about like take a deep breath and go. Like there's something that has to happen immediately. Okay, let's look at your tarot on this top row to tease out that yes, no, maybe here. We've got pomegranate. With these cards, I kind of like looking more at the images than the tarot associations, but I do take them into consideration. So pomegranate, eucalyptus, I love eucalyptus, which is a very invigorating scent. It does kind of like get you going. I love the tonal match here. It's like the pomegranate's like a deeper shade of your stone. Uncia, I don't even know what that is. I don't know if it's talking about the feathers or I think it must be the feather. It's the Hermit. I can't help but notice in some of these images you have like people's hands or something, but in each of these it's just, and especially in this first image, it's like someone started cutting into this pomegranate and then it's like they left in a hurry. There's something, rush through. And even here, it's like this whole process, but it's like it's been abandoned. It's like something you've put time into that you're interested in, but it's like you've had to abandon something about this question and go back within. Yeah, I'm going to say that this is a no. There's like something, but it's, you know, when we get a no, it's always because there's something better. There's something different meant for our current trajectory and growth patterns. And it's like there's something that you got focused on, but you're very quickly, it's like immediate. It's so funny because the pile 3 had this immediate thing too. Something immediate is happening here that's going to draw you back into yourself to like reconsider something about this question. Get back in touch with like your own instinct, your own authenticity. It's like you're following, yeah, it's like you've been following a guidebook on something around this, and you realize that like I don't really want to do it the way others are doing it. Like I have my own instinct here. And that's even like maybe with this pomegranate, like the way it's cut, maybe you're like, I think there's a better way to do this. Like this might be an experiment of like how to cut pomegranates. Like in this first time you did it the way your mom told you to do it, or your sister or brother or whoever, friend told you to do it, and you're like, no, I'm gonna go pick a different one. There's a better way to do this. I'm not going to follow the instructions here. I don't know if that makes sense for many of your questions. It may not. That might be like specific for a few people here. But there is something coming through of like you need to get back into yourself and your own authenticity and your instinct, because there's something that needs to be done a slightly different way. And it's like time, like almost immediately to like abandon how you're thinking about this question, to like, yeah, get back into a different like alignment with yourself, rightness with yourself. And when you do that, it's like you'll have the correct vision of like what this question is actually about, or what you actually want from this question. It's like, so it's like no in the way your question is framed right now, but I think it's just because it needs some tweaking. And it's like, go back into your instinct, do a little bit of experimenting, connect to what feels good to you. You'll know when you click into a certain alignment, because you're going to have like this aha, this download, this vision come through, and like, oh, that's why, that's what was wrong here. That's why this was like not, I don't know, it was like constantly disrupted. Something's too rushed, like it's not aligned. So I don't have that calm breath that I need here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you need to get into your center. You'll know, you'll feel very lit up when you kind of unpack this question and think about it and find a new way to connect to this question. It's like you're gonna know. It'll be instant, and the yes you're looking for will also be instant, but it needs to be repackaged, reconnected. You need different alignment here. Yeah, the building, you need to create the right foundations here. You need to go back down to the foundations, look at what you're building with here, figure out why it's not quite right, it's not quite aligned, it's not quite clear. It's like, yeah, it's just like, leave your question where it is right now and go back to the drawing board. There's just like a different way to look at this that's coming from you, from your instinct, your personal rhythm, and not from what other people are saying. And then crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So for a lot of you, you may be trying to build something new. This may have to do with work, and it's like, just take this question back to the drawing board, because there is you know, you're creating the foundation, the building blocks for this new thing. And so you need to do it right, you know, at that foundation level. Cobweb, protected from negative forces beyond your control. And this to me is saying that you're protected in, you know, going back to the drawing board. You're going to be, even though things feel sort of disrupted right now, this feels like very Mercury retrograde stuff, if you know what that is. Like something's disrupted, but you're like, that's like a divine protection around you, that disruption or that detour you're being asked to go on around this question. It's helping you to find or to shake this question up, or something about yourself up, to help you to see where there is a misalignment here. And the universe is trying to protect you, it's trying to guide you. So take those detours, take those delays as protection, and get curious about where they're leading you, because they're leading you to where you're going to have new clarity and then a vision through that. So a no right now, go back to the drawing board, but I do think in time, if you really pay attention to those detours and reworking your question, there is some protection around you. I think you can get to that new way of phrasing this, or that new aha, where you maybe even don't need to ask a question because you just like find what you're looking for, but it's just going to be different from where you're at right now. So anyway, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope this resonated. If so, I always appreciate a thumbs up. I'm always very grateful for kind and thoughtful little comments, and definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, see you guys.